What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big John and G, the two-gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Let's barely fit that in. Alright, so the unboxing looked, come on, the unboxing looked fun as heck. You know it did. You know how fun that unboxing looked. And even the setup and the build. Just the build and then the setup. Whatever. Now come on. You know that part of you took a look at that and thought to yourself, damn! That's the way a board game should look. Wow, it really did look amazing. And I still got it set up. It still looks amazing. How can you not want to play this game by looking at it? So much fun. But we're going to have to learn the rules before we play the game. And that's what I'm doing here today. And I am bustling with energy over this. Alright, my friends. It is time to learn how to play Fireball Island. The Curse of Vul-Kar. Alright, let's get this done because we got some expansions to get to later. Not in the same video later. I mean, like, later. But we can't get to these until I'm all done with the videos for the core game. So everyone, I'll see you down the table. Alright, my friends, so this is actually an easy game and a fairly quick game to learn. So the first thing you're going to want to realize is that on your turn, there are 4 things that have to be done in this specific order. So the first thing that you want to keep in mind is that if your figure is knocked over, was standing up, oh, that's so nice. But then something happens and it gets knocked over. Well, the first thing you're going to do on your turn is you are going to take your figure and you are going to stand it back up. Like so. Now, there are a few things to realize about standing it up, all depending on where the figure is. Perhaps you were knocked down and your figure is lying on more than one space. Well, then you get to decide which space your figure will be standing up from if it is touching more than one space. Now, several spots in the game can be considered what they call an odd starting space. If you find your figure that has been knocked down and it is in a lava chute or in a river, then that's going to be different than if you were on the path. You will simply follow it down to the end until it hits a path, and then you will stand your character up there, like that. Another odd starting place is if you get knocked off the island completely. So if that's the case, what you're going to do is you're going to pick your character up, and you will pick any cave entrance you want and start your character there. And any other weird place that you might end up, such as the top of a tree. Just pick the closest spot of your choice that touches it. In this case, I would say that this would be a spot, or that would be a spot that you could start at. Now, after you're standing your character up in the appropriate spot, remember those 2 action cards that you got dealt at the beginning of the game? Like, let's say these 2. You get to pick one of them and use it. Now, if this is the very first round of the game, then all your characters have only just arrived on the helicopter. So your first move, let's say you wanted to go and use a flame geyser. So you must move the exact number that it says. So you would move 10 spaces, starting with the helipad. So that would be the first space that you would have to go by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 would get you all the way up there. Now hold on a second, because you get to do a few things while you move. So to get to this 10 spot, this was your first move, remember, on your first turn. Well, you may also notice that you passed some treasure. In fact, let's take a closer look at this, because this is rather important. As you're passing by 1, 2, 3, you will notice that this spot has little red arrows pointing to that. That means as you are passing by, you can claim it for yourself. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you wouldn't be able to grab this one unless you were on this spot over there. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Likewise, you can't grab either of these yet, because to do that, you have to be in this spot to grab one of those two. Now, also remember that on this card, besides the 10 movement, you also notice it says, after moving, launch an Ember Marble. So now you may or may not decide to follow the instructions after the move. Yes, you have to move all the spaces that the card says, but you do not have to do the written part. In fact, we're going to get to that in a moment, actually. Now, when following the card, there will be several different instructions that you may be able to follow or want to follow. One of them is the hand. Sometimes there'll be one hand, sometimes there will be two hands. And what this means is that you have a choice. If you wish to do this, you may either rotate or turn Vul-Kar once in either direction, or you may turn a tree so that the root is in a new angle, is in a new position. If you choose to move Vul-Kar, you will rotate him once in one direction or in the other direction. If you decide to move a tree, then as I said, you will be able to move the tree as to change the position of the root. This will possibly alter the course of any marbles that will be coming down out of Vul-Kar. But the hand isn't the only symbol that you're going to see or direction that you're going to get. Possibly you may use a card that says draw a souvenir card, which is the primary way, my friends, that you will get souvenirs. Or maybe you'll play a card that will allow you to grab all the treasures from slabs when moving instead of just choosing one of them. And like the card I played in the example for movement, it might say launch an Ember Marble. Interesting, I wanted to talk about that. Now, when you're told to launch an Ember Marble, such as the one standing in front of the yellow man here, no, that is not Hastur, you have to be very specific. The game, the rules, actually say that you're not allowed to flick. Can't do that. It talks about pushing it with your finger. And that's what they want you to do. And what you want to do is you want to try to get it in such a way that if there's any opponent out in the field, that you will hit them. Well, that hit but did not knock the opponent down. And now there are a couple of places on the board that are rough terrain, and if you move into them, you will have to stop. Two of them are right here, the bridges. So if you were coming around and you... Well, that path doesn't really lead to it, but okay. Let's say you are here. And you got a 10 movement. 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 10, you have to stop. You have to stop because you are on unstable ground. You are in dangerous territory, and you have to stop. So if you are moving along the bridges, or if you get to the ladder, let's say 7. 1, 2. Well, you're losing those 5 movements. Because after those 2, you have to stop. Also, while moving, there are places to take photographs. You are trying to collect, besides treasure, photographs of your trip to the island. And they are marked with the camera symbols. So if you were moving 1, 2, 3, 4, you could stop here and then collect a green card. This one here is... Which one is this? That's the skull. So you would get the skeleton head beach photo. There it is. Beautiful, beautiful. And the same thing if you had stopped over here, then you could get the Blister Run photo. Now you can only have 1 photo of said color, and there are 2 of each. Also, keep in mind that when you are moving around the board, if you move into a spot with a cave, you came around this way, then you are gonna stop at that cave first. Second, you're gonna grab the D3 and give it a roll, and whatever number it comes up, you will continue your journey from that cave. So coming in here on a number 1, if you got a number 2, you can come out over here. You can come out over here. This is also a good place here on the map for me to point out something about movement. You see there are these darker green muddy patches, brown patches like right here. They don't count as movement. So if you were coming down from here, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 3, 4. Either way, if you were going to the cave, then 5. Now, when a player lands on the space that allows them to take the heart of Vul-Kar, a couple of things happen. Well, first of all, you're going to add a new fireball to the scar. And the second thing that's going to happen is that you are going to have a realization that it can be stolen from you. Yes, it can be stolen from you. So if a player was starting on the bridge, because remember you have to stop there if you are in mid-movement. So they're starting from the bridge and they have an 8. They go 1, 2, and they would have to stop. But by passing over you, they get to steal the heart of Vul-Kar from you. Now the reason I did that jump is because you cannot stop in the same space as another player. If there's a space in front of them, you will just continue past them. And every time someone jumps a player in possession of the heart of Vul-Kar, they will get a chance to steal it. Now, one of the last things about movement and card playing I want to point out is that you may play a Cataclysm card. Now, you're going to want to be careful about these, because after 3 of them come out, that triggers the end game. But there's a couple of things that you want to know, such as, how do I start the end game if I have everything I need? This card is one way to do it, but you're going to notice at the bottom. Now, this has to be done. Unlike the other cards where it's an option, this one has to be done. Drop all the fireballs in the Scar into Vul-Kar. So far in this example, we currently have 2 fireballs in the Scar. So they would be put one at a time into Vul-Kar. Oh, we did get a hit! I cannot tell you how satisfying that feels. So now, if this is the 3rd Cataclysm card that is played, things are going to get shaken up around here. You're going to take the action discard with the 3 Cataclysm cards in the tracker and shuffle everything up and set it back out. Then you're going to add 1 more marble to the Scar. Now, if it is the last marble that goes into the Scar, the game will go into end mode. We'll get to end mode in a moment. We are actually not finished taking a turn. Because after you play your card and you move and you follow the instructions, then it is time to draw another card, bringing your hand back up to 2 cards. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to reset the board. So any bridges or the ladder got knocked down, don't worry about it. The island magically fixes itself. Any of the marbles will go back to their starting spots. Don't leave any behind. Whoop, 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 whoop. Don't leave any behind and make sure they're in their right spot. Now remember, even though you're resetting the board, if any of the figures had been knocked down, leave them like that. Because that's the first thing a player is going to do on their turn, is set themselves back upright. There is something I would like to address about getting knocked over. If you got knocked over because another player did something to knock you over, you are going to be giving that player a treasure card. Now, if it was your own action that knocked over your own figure, well, that's where the more comes in. Remember this thing from setup? We put the lucky penny in there and we just left it there. Well, this is another one of its purposes. So if you knocked yourself over, then you're going to take one of your treasures and you're going to place it in the maw. Another point about getting knocked over, because that is a big point of contention in this game. If you get knocked over because you accidentally bumped the board, then just put your little character right back where it was. That was an accident. However, if a marble did not hit you, yet the vibrations of it knocked you over, well, you stay knocked over, my friends. What can I tell you? That is a consequence of the island rumbling and quaking itself. So yeah, you stay down. Now, if a player jumps to the water, they will drown. If a player moves on to the hello pad, and yes, I'm calling it that, if they're gonna call this the helicopter, then this is the hello pad. So if you reach the hello pad and you have one of each color of the photographs, the snapshots, or if the Scar has 4 marbles in it at the end of a turn, the helicopter will return. Any player that moves onto the helipad, the hello pad, even without an exact count, if you had 10 movement and you got here on 3, that's fine. You can move down into the hello carrier. Also, at this point, even if a player does not have all the snapshots and they get to the helipad, they can get onto the helicopter. Now, when entering the helicopter, you will be able to take an item from the maw. You can take the lucky penny or whatever other treasure happens to be in there. And then just take it and put it in front of your character with the rest of your treasure. Now at this point, once characters are in the helicopter, they cannot move out of it. You still get your turn, and you can still play cards. You won't be able to move, but you will be able to perform the action that is on the card. And then from there, figuring out your points is rather simple. It's on the back of your player aid card. Whichever player has the Heart of Vul-Kar will score 7 points at the end of the game. If you are in possession of the lucky penny, you will score 6 points. The snapshots that you collect will say how many points they're worth on the bottom right-hand corner. But as far as I can see in the game, they are all worth 5 points. And then your treasure tokens will have a point value depending on the number of tokens. For 1 token, it'll be worth 1 point. For 2 tokens, it'll be a matching set, by the way. It'll be worth 3 points. For 3 matching tokens, you'll get 6 points. For 4, you will get 10. And if you have 5 or more matching tokens, each one will be worth 15 points. And that, my friends, is how you play Fireball Island, the Curse of Vul-Kar. Originally, Fireball Island was published by Milton Bradley. This is published by Restoration Games. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for checking out Two Gun Pixie over on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Very cool that you go over and you check out and you see what we're doing over there. Thank you so much for that. We have a print-on-demand Zazzle store. Yes, my friends, Two Gun Pixie is on Zazzle. So if you want some nerdy, RPG gaming-inspired hats, t-shirts, mugs, steins, mouse pads, bumper stickers, pins, and a whole lot of other things, please go over and check out the Two Gun Pixie Zazzle store. Very cool. Thank you so much. And right here on YouTube, my friends, thank you so much for joining us here in our home. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, watching our videos, liking and commenting on our videos, and thank you so much for sharing the Two Gun Pixie videos, or anyone's videos that you watch. Share them, please. It is a great way to tell the content creator that you enjoyed their material. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. And my friends, I am out of here.
Thank you.